And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Draco Mundis sounds like a fairly interesting game. It's designed by Christopher Bollinger, who designed Dungeon Twister, which is in my top 10 games. And the idea is of early 19th century Englishmen hunting through the jungles looking for the fabled dragon. It sounds really interesting, sounds like a lot of fun. Involves players placing a lot of tiles on the board and moving them around, trying to get different things accomplished. And therein lies the problem. Here's the game. Fun theme, but what is the game really? Moving a bunch of tiles around, trying to get them in the right spots, and it's really boring. The games that I played, each time it's an exercise in let's just get this done. It has elements of Stratego in which you don't know where your pieces are until they're revealed, and moving around the board, but it really offers nothing to entice me into doing it. There's really no rhyme or reason in how you move your pieces other than I attack their strong pieces with my weak pieces. Let me show you a bit of the game. Here's the playing board. There's different color sections because 4 players will use the whole board, 3 players will only use these 2 sections, and 2 players will just use this one section. In player order, players will take turns placing tiles basically wherever they want on the board, face down, and there's a few tiles, 2 for each player, that start face up. They're the same thing on both sides. These are their face-up explorers. And so players are slowly taking time putting down tiles all over the board. It won't cover every space, but it will cover many of them. Players have a shield that they'll be standing up to put their tiles behind. This shield also has an explanation of all the tiles, but since it's done in such a small font, you will need to glue them behind your glasses so that you can read them at all. Fortunately, the gameplay itself isn't that hard, and remembering what the tiles does is fairly easy. On a player's turn, they can take 2 actions. They can do the same thing twice, but they have to do at least 1 action. One of the actions that they can do is they can look at a tile that's adjacent to someone that they have face up. So I can take this tile and look at it and see what it is. I suppose that's useful. They can also move one of the people on their tile. Each person has, or each character has different numbers and different arrows, and that shows how far they can move in that direction. Instead of moving a character, they can rotate one of their characters to a certain place, so they can rotate and move. They can also turn a token that's next to them face up, so that everyone can see what that is. They can start a fight with someone next to them, and when that happens, you basically compare the numbers, and the bigger number wins. So you would obviously not start a fight with someone who had a larger number than you, unless, of course, you had several numbers, and you were surrounding him, and everyone then can be attacking them. And again, you have to have one of your arrows facing the person to fight them. And then there's also a few special abilities that several of the characters have. So what's the point of all this? The point of the game is to try and get victory points. And there's a few victory points that you can get over the course of the game. Each player has some dragons. They're very, very powerful. As you can see, they have a 4 strength. They can move 2 spaces in one direction. And if you happen to kill an opponent's dragon, you get 3 victory points. For every other character that you kill, you get 1 victory point. There's also several different kinds of terrain on the board, and if you happen to be on these pieces of terrain, which give you defensive bonuses also, at the end of the game, you'll get extra victory points. 2 points if you're in jungle, and 1 point if you are on a mountain, and this isn't a mountain, this is a swamp, but there's different points that you can get for being in these. Also, if you destroy your opponent's campsite, each character has a campsite, which can only be destroyed by an armored car. And then you can get points if you manage to get your journalist into your enemy's camp. If you can get your journalist on the enemy's camp. And that's basically it. You're trying to get different points by maneuvering. Obviously, the most points is by getting your journalist on the enemy space. She can't be attacked, so you simply have to find where it is and then get her there without being blocked. That being impossible, you destroy the enemy's camp, or you kill their dragons or kill their people pretty much as fast as you can, and then get your own into different territories. I apologize if that sounded fun, because it's not. Even after reading the rules, I said, well, that sounds like an interesting game. But really, it just felt so constrictive. Get your journalist to the enemy camp. Okay, but where's the enemy camp? I have no idea where on the board they put it. So you play this guessing game. Did he put it on this side of the board? Did he put it over there? Oh, look, I got lucky. I happened to put my journalist right next to your camp. There's nothing you can do about it. I just got 7 points. Oh, look, I killed your dragon. Now, the dragons are interesting because they're worth points, and there's also a few tokens in the game that are used in an optional rule, and this is one of those optional rules that I can't believe isn't just in the game, where you have dragon traps that if you manage to get those next to a dragon, you can take it out. And some interesting maneuvering can be done there. Other than that, oh, look, this guy's stronger than that guy. I fight, kill him, take him. Oh, look, I'm stronger than you. I fight, kill him, take him. And I'm sure someone who's watching this, they're going to send me an email that says you just don't understand the intricacies of movement that are allowed in this game. Yes, I can. They're all boring. Yeah, I can move on a mountain. Yeah, I can move on a jungle. Yeah, I move next to a camp. There's no real theme. There's no drive and attack and defense. It's just a bunch of chaotic pieces running around. And it's really bad when 4 players are playing because there's just pieces everywhere. And it's confusing, chaotic, and just lacks fun. So, while Christopher is still a top-notch designer in my opinion, this is not one of his better designs. I really can't recommend it.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.